Nathan Kelly joins me ahead of his Bellator 302 fight with Vikas Singh Ruhil up in Belfast this week. It's only a couple of days away. Nathan, how are you doing, my man? Thanks for joining me. It's good to see you again.
Thanks for having me in. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Same as usual, working hard, on the ball, consistent. And just really enjoying my training. So staying active is the main thing I wanted with PFL / Bellator now. But staying active is the best thing I wanted. So staying active, they're keeping me busy, and can't complain.
Yeah, that's maybe the first thing I'll go to. This one, obviously, you had your last couple of fights under the PFL banner. You know, the merger has happened now. This is under the Bellator banner. Contractually, did you have to sign with Bellator for a fight, or is it kind of all under the same contract now, both organizations? It doesn't matter. What way does it work?
No, it's all under the same. Like, I signed the contract with PFL, and obviously since the acquisition, they've they whatever way the contracts work, they can just spread it across both. So yeah, I didn't have to sign anything different. I just signed my bout agreement as per usual, and just like a normal kind of PFL kind of ran style event, except under the Bellator name. So yeah, no changes, no contract changes, no nothing. Just keeping me busy on the cards that are available to put me on. So this was my last fight on my deal. So my initial deal, and I was due a fight before the end of March. So it kind of lined up perfectly to get me on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just the date and the name. You just want to stay active right now. That's the main kind of focus, is it?
Yeah, that's it. Like, it's consistency is the key to success and improvement. So I'm hoping to get at least another 2 fights in after this year, and then see what happens. Hopefully, obviously I need to get this fight out of the way first before we can talk. But get this fight out of the way, and then see what doors open up, and see what ideas are thrown my way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, look, you're a little bit further down the card. We'll talk about that fight in a minute. Last time you were getting prepared for a headlining slot, the Tree Arena, the PFL end of year show. Dimitri Solomis was the opponent. How was it? Like, you know, we chatted before on the Owl Triangle about the preparation and how excited you were to experience that. You know, a moment that you worked really hard and you deserved to get as well. And everyone was like, there was a collective positive vibe around you getting that headline slot, and the work that you put in and how you represent the sport of mixed martial arts. How did it all play out in your head beforehand, and then did it come to fruition on the night? Was it everything that you expected?
Yeah, played out exactly how I expected. I envisioned it all to go the way it went, from the weeks leading up to preparation, the weight cut, fight day, like warm up. I don't think it was. I was a little bit tired on the day, which is kind of funny. It's in a roundabout way, because I was really tired. I think I was just the weight cut. Just obviously, I didn't sleep that well the night before. I think I was just a little bit groggy from the lack of sleep, but like, I felt fully fit. Everything else was far bar a little bit of grogginess. Had a little nap in the changing room for like 20 minutes, and I woke up even worse. So, like,
No,
but I was
disaster.
like, this can go one way or the other. But I was felt really calm on the day. I felt like I was almost too calm. Normally, I'm a little bit more buzzed and hyped, but I decided not to worry or to change how I was feeling, because how I was feeling was how I was feeling, and I'll have to just rock with how I'm feeling on the day. But it seemed to work for me. I was very calm and composed. I was very chill. And then when I went down to the ringside, then before I walked out, heard me entrance music on, and then the crowd singing crazy words from Aslan, and I was just that was exactly how I envisioned it. I was singing back, just living in the moment, and really enjoying being present in such a big moment for me. So everything went smooth. Everything went how I expected. The game plan was to, either 6'4" or something. I'm a
Yeah.
little 5'8" short there, you know what I mean? So the plan was to close the distance, because it would have been foolish to try box with someone with such long range. So close the distance, take him down, ground and pound that submission. And got the submission in the end in a nice little slick way. So couldn't have went better. And just in general, just the general atmosphere in the arena for my fight was just I've never experienced anything like that in my life, and you know, it's a really special moment that I'll never ever forget for the rest of my life. If I was to finish fighting tomorrow, you know, that would be still something that I'd be very, very happy with, to say I did, to say I achieved, and even though I'm only really getting started now,
Yeah.
it's such a really, really nice thing to experience, you know, at this stage of my career. Like,
Oh no, it's savage, and it's great you got a taste of it, and I'm sure there's going to be many more occasions like that as well, Nathan. And you know, in terms of the fight itself, I want to say thanks because you made me out to look like a genius because I pretty much exactly called how it was going to go. I felt that you were going to close the distance, take the fight down. I want to say I even called the rear naked choke, but for the sake of the argument, I'll say I did call the rear naked choke. But yeah, very very smart game plan, and no, it must have been sweet to go in there and win emphatically. I mean, you know, you came off that Damian Nelson fight, and I think, you know, we spoke about it as well. That was a lot tougher fight than what it looked on paper. And look, you get the benefits of going 15 minutes, and that feeds into your skill set and your experience, of course. But what do you prefer at this stage of your career? Do you prefer going those 15 minutes right now? Do you prefer going in there and showcasing what you did against Solomise, getting the job done easy in round one? What, you know, I guess you got to go where the fight takes you, but what do you want to kind of achieve when you go in there at this stage?
I think like don't get me wrong, fighting for 15 minutes is valuable experience and time in there, without a doubt, and that's something that stands to you every single time you step in the cage. Just having them 15 minutes, because it's one of them things. It's like that kind of subconscious feeling of, I've been here before, I've done it. I know my body can put my body through it. I know I can, you know, fight like high output for 15 minutes. I know I can do that, so that's nice to have, you know, in the back of my mind, to know that that's possible. And it's a nice tool to have, to know if you need to dig deep, you've done it before, and you can really do it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you know what I mean, this game, you get your name made from first round wins. You know what I mean? You climb the ladder from first round wins, and ultimately you get a longer career if you keep having first round wins. Less damage, less punches to the head,
Yeah. Not getting paid
less
by the hour here, man. You know what I mean?
yeah, less damage, less punches to the head, less, you know, sore limbs, wrists, feet, anything, you know what I mean, in and out job. And I will continue to strive for first round finishes. You know, I feel like I'm a quick starter. Like, I can really switch it on from the start. I feel like I don't need to grow into fights. I feel like I can really capitalize in the moment, with me initiative and stuff like that. So I think that stands to me, and that's something that, you know, I'll try to keep racking up as many first round wins as I can, because, you know, that's what gets people talking, and that's what really, you know, builds your brand in a sense. As long as although wars, 15-minute wars, you know, you obviously get recognised for them, but for the sake of getting recognised and taking a lot of damage, I'd rather get recognised in the first round wins, rather
100.
than being in 3 round wars for 15 minutes, getting the head knocked off me or whatever like that. You know, ultimately the goal is to get in and out of this career with as least damage as possible, don't get hit, as you could say. But ultimately, as everyone knows, as my teammates, my coaches, and maybe some of the fans know, I can stand and bang if I need to. I can take a shot. I can give a shot, and I'm not afraid to get into a fight. You know what I mean? If a good fist fight, if need be. But ultimately, I want to get in and get out, not getting paid by the minute, and, you know, get compensated for which is on the night, a short night's work. You know what I mean?
100%. There's been a lot of kind of wonder, and maybe I've seen a few of the kind of fans speaking out, wondering about your card placement here, because you've gone from obviously the top of the in the PFL to, you know, fighting a little bit lower down the card on this Belfast card. I know your main objective here is, you know, getting that activity. You probably don't care too much where you're fighting on cards, or is that something that you play into all that much? Would you have liked maybe a main card slot, or you're just happy to be on the card and competing?
Like, to be honest, like, it's all about perception and all that jazz, and I'm there to fight, man. I'm there, whether I'm first, last, mid, second, third, fourth, whatever. My job is just to fight. Like, that's what I get paid to do. I get paid to have a fight. You know, card placement is here nor there. You know what I mean? Obviously, people are kind of a bit skeptical of it because I was the headlining event in PFL Europe. But at the end of the day, you know, this is this is something that PFL are running with the Bellator Champion Series, and this is the Bellator's like main card, if you'd say, like in a sense. Like this is not like a European show, so it's not like a sublet, even though it is in
Yeah.
Europe technically, but it's not like a
Yeah.
sublet of PFL America, where it's PFL Europe, and you have the kind of regional and new up and coming talent headlining like myself. Whereas this is like big champions, big fights, all Bellator lads bar me, Nate and Abraham Babley. So it seems to be that us three, the PFL heads, got the first three fights just to kind of give us our respect or whatever like that, and get us our fights, and then they're paying homage to the Bellator lads who've been there and done it with Bellator this far over the last 10 odd many years that fighting with Bellator. So I understand that, I respect that. I'm not cribbing and crying that I want to be here or there in the card, because at the end of the day, them lads have put in the service to Bellator over the last while. The likes of Kieran and stuff, I'm happier for Kieran to be further up the card than me. You know what I mean? He was
For sure.
He was where he is with Bellator, where I am with PFL, in a sense. That young talent, that up and coming talent, and he's been the face of PFL or Bellator Europe for a long while now. So I'd like that in that sense. Like Kieran, if anyone deserves that shot more than me, you know what I mean? Because he's put in the graph of Bellator, like I'm putting in the graph of PFL. Like I've got my chance with PFL already, and I'm happy for once to actually get in and have an early fight, and then I can chill, because normally I'm last and I'm waiting around all day, and not that I care about that or whatever, but it just be a long day, you know what I mean? And then
It's energy draining, like, isn't it? Because you're waiting and you're going through the role of the emotions, and then you're watching teammates coming in and how they're doing and everything like that. It must kind of mess with you a little bit, does it?
Like I feel like I'm really used to it now, because I've been fighting for a long while. And I've always seen to have fights later on in the card, from amateur right up to pro. So it's something I'm not unfamiliar with. I'm very familiar with it, and I'm very familiar with the emotions, the energies, and all the other things that come into play. So I don't really care in a sense about fighting late. Nor do I care about fighting early, but there's just something about getting in and getting out early, and then enjoying your night and having a bit of crack with your friends and family. Like I thought, obviously the main card there, I won. By the time I was done my medicals and my checks and my interviews and all, it was like another hour gone. And then like by the time I got out to my family, then the night was nearly over. And you want to kind of have a bit more of a celebratory kind of feeling with your friends and family, especially if they're all making their way up or whatever it is. So this time I'll actually get to sit back and watch the rest of the lads, like Carl hopefully win the world title, Kieran win his fight. And yeah, just really enjoy the card for what it is, and kick back and relax and celebrate with a nice win.
100%. You said that this is the last fight on your current contract. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you going to be looking to renegotiate? Are you going to test out the free agency? What are you thinking for the next steps? Obviously, I kind of feel awkward asking the question, because you don't want to overlook your next opponent, but it's got to be something on the back of your mind right now.
No, I'll definitely re-sign with them. Like there's no question about it. I mean, and like I always said from the minute I signed, anyway, I want to have 15 to 20 fights with PFL, and then assess where I'm at with my career, regardless. So like that'll be 5 and just over 1.5 to 2 years. So it'd be about a year and a half, say. So I'd say it'd be the good to another 2-3 years with PFL. I'd be happy to stay with PFL, and they're building up. And I was kind of fortunate that I kind of got into PFL before it was cool. Like I was kind of one of the first lads in. So they seem to have really taken a liking and a shine to me and my personality, and I get on really well with the staff. And I've really built up a real friendship with all of them, as well as just having a professional relationship with them. So I'm really happy to stay with them, and I want to kind of grow in PFL. I want PFL to be the platform that I get to grow, and that's the reason why I joined them. I felt like I could get a good opportunity to shine under their banner and under their headlights. So I'm going to continue to do that. That was my plan initially all along. So there's never been a thought in my mind that made me want to change this since I've fought with them, because all I've gotten was really, really good opportunities and really good chances to prove myself. So yeah, I'm happy to stay with them, and we will renegotiate after this 100%.
100%. One thing that you did say, and it's something that you have been over the last couple of years, is active. And a lot of criticisms that maybe myself and the lads would have been talking about as well, is that sometimes with some of the Irish fighters is a lack of activity, where you are only maybe getting a chance to fight once every 6 months or once every 8 months. that has not been a problem with you when you're sitting down and having those conversations. Is that like right now at this stage? Obviously, look, the money is probably the most important thing. Maybe not for you, but activity seems to be something that you want to achieve right now, especially at this stage of your career. You've gone on that momentum. You're in like that good run in your professional career right now, and it's just keeping the ball rolling and keeping the fights coming and keeping the wins coming. Is that the most important thing to you right now, or is there a financial aspect as well?
Ultimately, activity, like I said earlier on, activity and consistency breeds growth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And comfortability and all that jazz that comes with it. So activity for me is key. Like the money is a bonus. Like the money is like lovely. Like ultimately, I just love to do this. So I get such a kick out of doing this, that like this is me calling in life, and the money is great, fair enough, but take the money away, it's something I still really enjoy doing. I enjoy going to training every day, twice a day and 3 times a day when I can, and training training around a healthy lifestyle, and having them goals that I'm fighting in 6 weeks time, and knowing that I'm coming up against an opponent who's training 6 to 8 weeks to try beat me and stuff. I love that challenge, and I love that feeling and that rush of getting in and stepping into the unknown, closing the cage door. So ultimately, that all of that is just like pivotal for my growth as a human, not even inside the sport, outside the sport as well, because
yeah,
the amount of times you get out of your comfort zone doing it is really, really substantial to my growth. It's just being a nice person and being a good person in life. So yeah, no, that's like activity is the key for me, and obviously fucking like obviously like being activity means like get paid more. That means that more activity means more paydays, which is ultimately then the other benefit of that. So but yeah, no, just being active for me is the key. The money is great. But like over the last few years, I've really come to learn that money really isn't everything, and although it is needed to live a healthy, normal, kind of functional life, like just to have a bit of stability, which I'm not stupid with my money either.
yeah.
I've really started to look into things to make money coming back to me without having to always fight and looking into things. So, and then ultimately just learn how to save a little bit better, for future reference if anything ever went wrong in life and stuff like that. But like the money isn't everything to me. I want to cement my name as one of the best martial artists to come out of Ireland and to take on the world, and step by step I'm getting there, and ultimately then and doing that, hopefully the money will get better as I go, and I can start to really get comfortable and not have to worry about financial troubles ever in my life ever again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Like, look, I can relate in some terms in what you're saying there in, engrossing yourself in MMA. Obviously, it's different for me. I'm not the one that's getting smacked in the face and all that stuff. But with me, with the media as well, kind of gives you a sense of meaning and a sense of purpose. There's nothing more than I enjoy in coming and speaking to lads like yourself, and getting engrossed and analyzing fights and seeing how they play out and joining people's journeys and stuff. Would you go as extreme or as far as to say that like MMA saved your life in certain terms, because you have talked about some of the mental struggles you've had and the difficulties that you've had, before you found your feet in mixed martial arts?
Yeah, definitely. Like it really gave me that sense of purpose that I felt like I needed to have, and the last I'm 27 now in May, so the last 14 years of my life, all I've done is martial arts. It's over half my life. So I when I did take that little step away from the cage, it was something that really honed into me. That I was like, fuck, if I'm not doing this, what am I meant to be doing? Because I had all the sub goals I had through MMA were there, and when you're young, you don't really understand your mind and how like the chemistry of having goals, and how that like channels your ambition and how that channels your drive in life. And I would think I was a little bit naive to all that when I did step away, and fortunately for me, I did go through all that stuff that messed up my head, and I did put myself in a bad space to then bring myself back on track to realize that what I'm doing is what I was meant to do all this time, and to throw it away would be just foolish of me after all the work, blood, sweat, and tears I've put into this. So definitely has a big part to play in who I am as a person. All me, everyone around where I'm from knows me as the MMA fighter. All I know myself is as me, the MMA fighter. All the knowledge I've taken in over the years to hopefully then pass down to the future generations will live on then through me. So as far as I'm concerned, all I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life is things that are martial arts related, and obviously, I'm going to get into business at some point when all said and done, and open up things. I'm kind of like dabbling in that now as we go, just to get my feet and understanding of it and stuff like that. But yeah, like martial arts is who I am. It's what I do, and it's all I know. So, you know, any advice I can give, any like perspective I can give, everything I can give towards someone in life is based off what I know through martial arts, and the teachings I can give on to other people in the future. It's all martial arts based. So without me or without martial arts, there's no Nathan Kelly, and that's the truth of the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I respect you a lot for the way you speak about those kind of things, because there's Nathan Kelly, the fighter, there's Nathan Kelly, the man, and two of them are great people. And my like to be that role model, to show the comfortability to express your emotions and feelings and share your struggles as well, because with a lot of those kind of things, what you see out in the open is not really exactly what's going on behind the scenes. So that's going to give a lot of people, you as a role model, a lot of younger men, the confidence in being able to deal with that. So I definitely commend you for that. And look, you've talked about that time and time again in other interviews. We don't have to get too far
Yeah.
into it right now if you don't want to. But I was going to go down the route, unless you do want to say something about that. But I was going to talk about your preparation. But fire ahead if you want to say something about that.
Yeah, no, like I don't really have much else to say. I think I've said a lot in the past. The only thing I know personally from how I feel about being open about it all and stuff like that is that, I've actually built such a comfortability with who I am, and in doing that, then I think I've actually just solidified a hardened mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't afraid to put myself out there and really show me vulnerability and show that I fucked up, and show that I bounced back. And I think in being open like that, I've actually gotten even more solid as a mind with my mindset. You know what I mean? I think that's you know it's
It's a
one of them
cathartic
things.
approach, is kind of, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
like
comfortability of speaking about it is kind of therapy in its own right.
exactly, and I think it's such a thing that like no one likes that personal life going out anywhere to the public,
Yeah.
especially the fucking thousands of people that obviously hundreds of thousands of whatever were on board when I was telling it all. So, that really really puts you out in the open, and that's something that I even at the time I was struggling with, because it's such a fresh thing to say, and I didn't know what way people would perceive, and I was rattling. I remember I done the interview with Andy, and I was shitting myself for like 3 days, because I literally laid all my cards out on the table, and I was put myself in a position where I could have went one way or the other, but I literally had this approach where I was just like, fuck it, like
Yeah.
who cares? Like I only really really cared about the opinions of those in my circle anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone else's opinions are kind of just like not irrelevant, because obviously I'll take opinions and advice on board if it's good or bad. You have to have a good way to process the good and the bad. So, but 90, like 99% of the time, was just I only cared about the advice of those in my circle. So, if they're telling me to do one thing and I do it the opposite, then I'm a bit foolish. Whereas some randomer online is telling me this and that and the other about this and that and the other, I'm just gonna be like, take away a pinch of salt, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean. No one has lived my life, so only I know what I felt and went through. So yeah, and like I said, though, just being open like that, it's just made me more solid as a person, and I think it really helped me grow as a person, and yeah, built a good few layers of character to me, 100%.
100%, it definitely did. You're having a quick turnaround here. You traveled out to Thailand. You got some work in over there. I mean, imagine the quick turnaround. You spent most of the time at SBG for this camp, was it?
Yeah,
What was
all,
most of
all,
the
all of it was SPG.
all,
Yeah,
all at SBG, was it? Yeah.
yeah.
So, what was the kind of focus on the camp coming into this fight with Ruhil?
Um, the focus for this one, well, I don't like. It's kind of hard to explain, because I don't really like do anything different in my camps. Like I train all areas of me martial arts. Like I train me boxing, me jiu-jitsu, me wrestling, me MMA, all as one. You know what I mean? Like my training routine has not changed for the last like 3 years for each opponent for anything. You know what I mean? Nothing has changed. It's just been the same schedule for like every week for the last like 5, 6 fights, and nothing has changed. And I think that's the key to me, like getting so good, or like to me improving all the areas like so rapidly, is that like nothing has changed over the last few years. I've been consistent with every single area in the same amount of like time spent to grow the skill. So like that, I'm not going up in one skill and down in the other, because I'm, maybe going 60% into boxing and 40% into wrestling. It's really is split
Yeah.
across all the board all the time evenly. And I think that's a big part to play in me, overall MMA skills getting like better all as one. I mean, not like excelling one more than the other. I think now in fairness, I'm spoofing a little bit, because when I joined SPG, I put a lot of time into me striking, because there was obviously clear levels in the gap between me striking and me jiu-jitsu. Me jiu-jitsu was obviously well better, because I'm predominantly a jiu-jitsu background, black
Yeah.
belt in jiu-jitsu. It's natural, you know what I mean? That's obviously me go-to and me safety. So I really did put a lot of time into me striking, but I feel like I've got me striking up to a level now where, I can really put more time into the all aspects of martial arts again. And now I'm just building them all up bit by bit. But for this camp, I've really put a lot of work in with Pavel. I think he's about the same size, shape. He's like the same shape as me
Yeah.
opponent. And
Yeah.
it's all perception. You know what I mean? I just want to spar someone who's that height, that size, that frame. So when I'm in the cage, someone who's that size, that height, that frame doesn't look unfamiliar with me. And it was the same with my last fight against Dimitri. You know what I mean? I sparred a 6'3", 6'4", tall, lanky guy. I did a lot of sparring with Daniel Negru, the young up and coming amateur from SBG, because he's the most similar build, size, and style to Dimitri as I can get. Now, ultimately, obviously, Daniel is an amateur and I'm a pro, so some would look at that and be like, oh, he's only sparring amateurs. But it's like I said, I'm going to do what I do on the night, regardless of size, scale, whatever. I just need to have that shape in front of me to know that I can spar someone that shape, that height, with the attributes that they have with the reach and the legs and the arms. So it's just becoming familiar with the size and the shape, and then applying my skills, my timing, and my pressure in on top of someone who is that shape and size. So for this one, I've done a lot of sparring with Pavel, as I said, and I really do feeling that I can knock this guy out inside 2 rounds. Hopefully one, you know what I mean? Obviously, it'd be lovely to get it inside one, but I really do feel like I can knock this guy out inside 2 rounds. So I've really put a lot of time into my striking, my distance management, and my control time on the feet, and then obviously into some anti-wrestling sequences, because I feel like once I land a few clean shots, he is going to want to close the distance, and he's going to be panic shooting, just like I always want all my opponents to do. Since I've really came into myself the last years, my goal is always to be the most complete fighter I can be. And I really think if you can be solid on the feet and make people panic wrestle, there's so many openings that come from that, and that's what I'm looking to do in this fight. And fingers crossed I can put him away before he even gets a chance to panic wrestle. My distance management is on point, my footwork's on point, my hand speed's on point, my combinations are on point. I'm attacking in phases, 2 and 3 phases. So, it's just about me going in and showing it on the night, and showing that, I've built way more levels just even from the last fight.
Yeah.
And doing it on the night when it means most, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like your approach, and it's very smart approach, keeping everything well rounded, gives you the confidence. It gives you some extra confidence in there, is what I should say, in being able to dictate where you want the fight to be. Because you think of grappling as like, oh, I'm going to take the fight down, but no, your grappling can be used to keep the fight on the feet as well, so that you can
Exactly.
striking. So I'd imagine that well-rounded approach does give you that confidence, and I think it's very, very important to be going into a fight with the confidence of knowing where you can dictate where exactly you want that fight to go.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I always came into things like I used to like even when I first joined SPG, when I'd be doing simulation spars, like I used to like just go in and just straight back them up to the fence, take them down. Like, you know what I mean? I felt at the start there was no real like getting out of the comfort zone, like experience, trying to put myself in the striking exchanges where I can grow. It was like, oh fuck, just go in and do what I'm used to, what I knew. But now I took this step back and I analysed it, and I was like, no, if I really want to do this and I really want to achieve what I want to achieve, I'm going to have to put a lot more time
And
into
that might be a little bit of inner anxiety as well with you, in terms of, I always want to get the job done really quickly, but sometimes you can kind of lead yourself into more problems with that kind of mindset, you know.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
goes with experience too. The more times you get in there, the easier it is to kind of be comfortable in there and going where the fight takes you then, I guess.
Yeah, and that's where that Damien Nelson fight really helped me, because I put a lot of work into me striking, and as you know, that was like a 15-minute kind of striking match, like kickboxing style match with little bits of cage wrestling here and there. But yeah, that was a fight where I really knew, I was like, right now I am able for this, because he was a striker predominantly. He's always been a striker, anti-wrestler. So I was
He
like,
was a
okay,
tricky guy as well. He was
yeah.
really tricky. Like, yeah, we were like, I was watching. I remember watching that fight live, and it was actually me and Sean Sheen. We were both saying it was like, you know, after we got a first glimpse of him, he was like, this guy is tricky now, but you handled him excellently, and you gave yourself that experience and obviously the confidence, knowing that you can strike for 15 minutes as well. So those are the kind. That's what I mean. That's why I was asking you earlier on. Is like, you know, it is great to go in there and get that early finish, but having that in cage experience where you do learn a little bit more about yourself as well in terms of cardio, different positions, etc., is very, very important.
Yeah, 100%, and like that, it's how you come back from looking at performances, and that from that performance, I was really impressed that I could, because I've never had a 15, and I've always said this, like I've never had a 15-minute striking match where like I couldn't get take someone down or whatever it was, but he was really hard to take down. He's really strong, he was, and there was a point where I was like, right, I'm not going to force the takedown. I don't want to gas myself out trying to hunt the takedown. So there's kind of a point where I was like, right, fuck it, let's have a striking match off, and let's beat him at his own game in a sense. You know what I mean? So I was like happy to do that then, and when I got the win in beating him at his own game per se on paper, well then yeah, I was really happy with that, and it shows that I can step out of my comfort zone again, and he wanted to strike, he wanted to stay on the outside, he wanted to fight the way he fought, and he fought the way he fought and still lost, because I was more eager. I was more eager to win. I was throwing way more combinations. I was finishing everything with a kick. You know what I mean? And that just shows the levels that I've built the last while. That you hit me with one punch, I'm hitting you with 3 and 4, and then I'm building the leg off you at the end of it. A lot of work with your boxing coach and a lot of work with Dave Roach and the pads to really sharpen up the tools and be dangerous on the feet as well as being dangerous on the ground.
Yeah, 100%. Look, at obviously the plan is to go out there, get the knockout. You're going to renegotiate. That's going to bring new opportunities for you. What's the path that you want to forge for yourself over the next year or two? Obviously, you're signing the new deal and everything like that. You know, are you happy to just kind of stay active, whether it's a PFL card, whether it's a Bellator card, or do you want to try and start making a run towards a title or for a tournament or something like that?
Yeah, well, this fight's in March, and I think the tournament starts in April, so it might be too quick of a turnaround for me, depending obviously on how the body's feeling, to get straight into the tournament this year. So in my head this year, because I haven't talked to anyone, and I was kind of at the start of the year, I was kind of looking at what I would like to see for myself this year. Obviously, I was just planning some stuff. So because of the time of the fight, 22nd of March, I think the season starts just start of April or mid-April. Obviously, do you know what I mean? If I got the fucking chance to go into the $1 million season, I'd jump on that. Like, obviously, because
100%.
I want to be a world champion, and I wrote it out. I said it. I put it out there to the universe. I want to be a PFL world champion. The million is a bonus, but having that title in my hand and knowing that I earned that title from my performances is something that is gonna really, be a real dream of mine. But with the signing of Bellator, they might have, Bellator lads come over this year and challenge in the tournament. So I reckon, in my head personally, I feel like they might. If I could see out this year with 2 more fights, hopefully get 2 more wins, then I'll be on a 12 fight winning streak, and then maybe go into the season. So like obviously I fought in February and March last year. I fought February last year, and then I fought in March this year. So it was would have been at the very start of the year. So if I was to fight 2 more times this year and then maybe get a break until April when they start the seasons, I'd love to maybe go into the $1 million season next year with 3 more fights experience behind me, and make a really good run for the title. So that's what I'd love to happen. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. We need to discuss. We need to have chats with PFL and see what plans we can get together. But in my eyes, I'd love to do that. I'm not getting any younger, and I feel like I'm only starting to come into my physical prime. So I think it'd be a really, really, good opportunity for me to take at that stage of my career with the age I am, given with the experience I have, and I'm really eager to prove myself there in the US season as well. So, but like I said, all I can do is win this fight and suss out what happens. I like to obviously have an idea of what I want to do, but over the last year, yes, maybe even 3 years, I've really learned that you can only really control one day at a time, and everything else is kind of hopeful or whatever, like hopeful, or you pray for things to happen. And I think if you're really putting hope into something that might happen, you'll just be let down. So I just like to do what I can and do what I do with day to day. And like that, if it does come across me path on that certain day, then we assess it and then we move on. But to really throw all the eggs in one basket and hope that one thing happens, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure if it doesn't. And I don't like to do that in anything in life, not even with fighting. You know what I mean? I don't like to hope something might happen. I like to work for it and then get it given to me then through my hard work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks so much for the time, Nathan. Won't keep you too much longer. One a prediction for the main event. Obviously, you got a close look at Karl Moore preparing against for his fight against Corey Anderson, light heavyweight title. It's a big one. I'm looking forward to it. How do you think it goes down?
I don't really know. You know what I mean? Because Corey Anderson is very experienced. He's been in the UFC. He's came back to Bellator. He's at the top of the division. He has experience, and Karl is that young hunger looking to come up and prove himself. He's in his hometown. He has all the things going on the side at the minute. But obviously Corey's very experienced. So it's just about, and as well as 5-5s, not 3-5. So I'd love to see Karl take his time. Grow into the fight maybe as it goes on, because Corey is going to have good cardio and look to take him down, guaranteed. Because Karl has very, very crisp hands, and I think if Karl can land a few nice clean shots, Corey is going to want to take him down, given the power that Karl has and the accuracy of his punches. So I'd love to see Karl keep the range. I can't give a prediction on finishes. Ultimately, I'd love if Karl knocked him or subbed him, but I would ultimately love if Karl could beat him over 5 rounds. Because I think if you're beating someone like Corey Anderson over 5 rounds, you're really showing how good of a fighter you are. Going to 5 rounds, championship rounds, showing your championship material, and that's something I'd love to see Karl do, because I think when you do that, you turn a lot of heads and you get a lot of respect. And although getting a quick finish is brilliant, and we are talking all earlier on about getting quick finishes and how great they are, but going 5-5s with such a vet is such a good win. You know what I mean? And I really, really do hope Karl can get the win in any form, obviously, but I'd love to see him win over 5 rounds though. But like that, it's very hard to predict. I hate predicting my teammates' fights. It's just not something I like to do.
It's a hard fight to predict in general, even breaking it down, because Corey's so well rounded, Karl's so well rounded. It's going to be the little minuscule things in between everything that's going to be the winning and losing of the fight, for sure, for me anyway.
Yeah, it'll come down to concentration. It'll come down to timing. It'll come down to who wants it more. And I really do think that Corey Anderson is going to be looking to jab, double leg, overhand right, double leg, and I think that's our body lock. I think he's really going to look to emphasize that on Karl. Now, Karl is very similar to him stylistically and height, weight, all that jazz. So it's just about how Karl can manage his in the moment IQ and his in the moment decisions, and that's gonna be what separates him from winning the title or not winning the title. And like that, I hate to predict my teammates' fights, because I don't like. I actually get more nervous from my teammates' fights than my own, and even talking about it now, I'm kind of getting the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying what I want to happen, and I'm putting it out there to the universe, and hopefully the big man above is listening to me. But ultimately, it's very hard to predict. But I want Carl to win. Obviously, the quickest way fashion, but I would really want them to win and show his skill over 5 rounds and show we can do it. You know what I mean?
100%. Maybe we'll get you not talk that one last one before you go. Not your teammates, co-main event guys that are in your weight class. Patricio Pitbull and Jeremy Kennedy. That's an interesting fight as well. How do you see that one going? And are you looking forward to kind of seeing? Patricio is a legend of the sport, one of the biggest fighters outside, obviously the UFC and stuff, and has forged his path in Bellator through many years, and is a fantastic fighter. I think this could be a difficult enough one for myself. How do you feel the fight is going to go in the co-main event between Pitbull and Jeremy Kennedy?
I think Jeremy Kennedy beats him, man, being honest with you.
I do too, to be honest. Yeah.
I think Jeremy is very, very good. He's a level above him, most of the lads in the division, in fairness. All the experience, like he has a lot of experience, and he's still very young. He was over in Thailand at the same time as me and Dara Kelly, and just watching him on the mats, watching him, like he's a very, very good grappler, and obviously he's working on his striking the last while as well to bring the levels up, and I think he beats Pitbull, and I've been saying this the minute I seen the fight was announced. I thought he was going to beat Pitbull. Pitbull has the experience and all that jazz, but I think his mileage is starting to add up, and he's slowing down just a little bit, and I really do feel like this young up and coming generation is going to be the ones to capitalize on it, and I think Jeremy will probably beat him. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go, because obviously Pitbull is very durable in game, and he might be able to see it out over 5 rounds and stop Jeremy from maybe finishing him. But then again, Pitbull has that mad power that you could just throw an overhand right and clock you, and you never know to turn the lights out. That's what makes MMA obviously so interesting. But at the minute, looking at it from a neutral kind of analytic point of view, I think Jeremy can beat him 100%.
100%. Yeah, it's a good assessment there, Nathan. Last but not least, March 22nd, a couple of days away, Nathan Kelly against Vikas Singh Ruhil. Give us your final prediction. I know you kind of spoke on it already. Give a final prediction on how that fight's going to go in your eyes, Nathan.
Yeah, I see. Now, I hope we can timestamp this, because this is what I'm envisioning. I see Vic is coming out nervous, stiff, hesitant. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm not going to come out like that. I'm going to control the range. I'm going to be there. Then I'm not going to be there. I'm going to counter. I'm going to go forward with aggression. And ultimately, I think that right hand is going to be the one that knocks him out. It's either going to be a straight right hook or a left hook. I can see that going my way. I just feel like there's openings there from watching him fight. I feel like he's going to be very hesitant on the night, and I'm going to capitalize on that. And I'm going to look to put him away, hopefully inside 2 rounds with a KO.
Boom, there it is. Said and done. March 22nd, up in Belfast. Nathan Kelly versus Vikas Singh Ruhil. Catch it on Virgin Media, I believe it's on. I'm not too sure what the TV deals are anyway, but we'll be able to watch it. All the best to you, Nathan. Thanks for the time speaking to me today. It's always good to talk to you, to catch up with you, and we'll chat to you again down the line too, I'm sure.
Yeah, Ian, thanks for having me, and as always, thanks for your support over the last while. It's been great getting in and doing good work for the Irish MMA scene. I just want to thank everyone, the fans, who've been following me the last while and really getting behind me, especially all the ones who are there for PFL Dublin. These mad things, these are all legends. Just hearing the noise of all these was.
I'm sure the crew is heading up to Belfast too, are they?
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller crowd this time. Obviously, it's a bit trickier with the Caribbean and Belfast and people with work and stuff like that, which I understand. And I haven't really been able to push it as much because, and then funny enough, a lot of people I know are away as well. So it's just unfortunate timing. I'd just like to thank everyone for the support. My sponsors, the Dream Edit and Get Laid Carpets, Motion Masters, Twins Lifestyle, Cayusa have been sponsoring me the last while. My jiu-jitsu club, they've been financially helping me make this career, hopefully make this dream come true. And chiropractors, everyone who's been helping me, my teammates, my coaches, we're gonna really get a nice win now and catapult ourselves further in the right direction.
Love it. Looking forward to it, Nathan. All the best to you, my man. Thanks for the time. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Ian.